Hey guys, Art 17 here, and we are way down here, week 11, and assignment 20. So, assignment 20 is a monochromatic painting. I think this is the first painting we're doing in here, and maybe the last. So, it's all for the beginners, really. If you know what to do with paint already, then, have fun. It's going to be fun anyway because it's sort of an experiment. And you're just getting your feet wet, pun intended, with paint. So, in fact, hey, if you're really good at painting with your feet, let's give it a try. But if not, then maybe you want to use a brush or a palette knife. There's various ways to paint. So I'll show you what a monochromatic painting is. Later in the week, we'll talk about full color painting, and also there's a homework where you're drawing a tree with a title and personality, and we'll talk about that on Wednesday. Today, let's talk about the monochromatic, which means painting with one color and using white and black to make it either lighter or darker. So here's various ideas on Bing Images for monochromatic painting. They'll show you several. I would stick with either blue or purple or green, red. The yellow doesn't work as well. Sometimes it turns it brown when you're using black. In fact, it will do that. So let's stay away from yellow. Green, blue, purple, red will work. So, we're talking about a monochromatic painting. We're talking about using blue out of the tube and then adding black to it to make it a little darker, a little darker, a little darker. The more black you add, the darker it's going to get. The more white you add, the lighter it's going to get. And then also you can put a little real total black or bluish black in your painting and some white, but mostly it's different shades and tints and shades of the color you're using out of the tube. Okay, also orange doesn't work very well either. This is the very basics of making a one color lighter or darker. You use black. It really works with the red, blue, purple, green better. So you'll find that yellow or orange, it's going to sort of turn it brown, and so that's kind of taking away, that's making another color that we're not going to use. So let's say you used blue for your monochromatic. That's your one color. Then you use white and black to make it lighter by several shades and darker by several shades. So when you're done, you should have about 7 different tints and shades of that color that you used, whatever you're drawing, whatever painting, drawing, painting, whatever you're painting. And here's sort of the silhouette idea, which there are plenty of these. So if you're using sort of a sun or moon glow aspect, you can start very light here, and then as they spiral out, getting a little more tone of the color you're using, the tint or the tint. It will be the shades are to talk about. You're getting into the darker. But I can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 with the aspects of the silhouette. 7 different tints and shades to that one color. And then here you got your silhouette, which is very dark, but also I see some lighter, or lighter than dark, black. This is probably black, more of a dark purple in there. So it may be harder for you to get that together than using blue, green, and red, but you can try the purple. As you can see, there lots of your versions of this. Within these patches, there are a few different tints and shades to that portion, that section, that section, that section, here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the white and black, 7. This is getting you to know how to mix paint to get darker and lighter, using black and white to get lighter and darker. Now you can add a little white and black for subject matter here and there, but mostly I want to see that you used the one color and you got it darker and got it lighter as you went through. Here's some green, waterfall. So maybe out of the tube it was about this sort of a green, but you added white to make all these lighter greens and then black to make the darker greens. But you add just a little at a time. And I'll provide a video on mixing some paints so you can get the idea going on that. Very cool, except for they added a little purple here and green. So yeah, it's not actually what I wanted. Now, it doesn't have to be a perfect drawing of something we all recognize like that. It could be more of an abstract like this, where of course that's a trumpet in there, but then they have these other sections that they sectioned off, and then you have various shades of the green that are making tints and shades of the green, making this trumpet appear within those squares or sections. Lots of students have done this one before. Again, you have the spiral sort of moonlight thing here, and then a silhouette for all the undersea stuff. And some bubbles here that are kind of white. And that's an okay way to do it. I can go through these for all day. You see what I'm talking about. Lights and darks made with either black put into your color, your one color, or white put into your one color at various measures, various values they talk about, and saturation. So if you put a lot of white, it's going to get really light. A little white, going to get a little white, right? Yeah, and then the same thing with black. This is the mountain range going back. It's the atmospheric perspective, where mountains actually do get lighter as they go away from you into the distance because of the particles in the air and all kinds of other stuff. The detail and the color diminish. So you can do something like this too. There's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sky is not white. It's probably a real super backed off blue. But you could do something like that. And for your more people that want to get yourself really challenged, do 3 of them in a row like this. You're picking 3 colors, but within each color scheme, you have a monochromatic, a monochromatic, a monochromatic. Purple, blue, and green. You want to do that? That's great. I'm not going to be able to add extra credit for that because it's just a beginner class. This even has many, many, many tints and shades of that blue in there. If you count them, you can go around here and count many, and then there's a little white and black in there too. So this is a very abstract sort of stalactite or mite sort of look, or ice crystals or something like that is what comes to mind. And you can go through there and just pick many, depends on what you want to paint. So here's the guitar with that trumpet idea. Here's somebody actually playing a guitar. Here's a really cool one too. And all the trees diminish too with atmospheric perspective, because in the distance they get lighter and appearing to get lighter and less detail. This is really nice because it has the reflection marks here. So you can use acrylic. You can use watercolor. Watercolor's a little harder to work with this because you don't have white paint to work with watercolor. Typically, you have the white paper. And I'll provide a video on using watercolor as well, okay? That'll sort of show you how to use the white paper to come through your color that is very watery, so that you allow the white paper to come through your sort of transparent paint and make it a lighter color, tint of that same color. And then more paint, the more thick you put the paint on, more saturated of the color, then it gets darker. You can add a little black to the blue with watercolor too, to get that darker and darker and darker. That's the way I want you to do it, rather than using different versions of blue. Make your own different versions of blue, or whatever color you're going to use for this, by putting the black in or the white in. Okay, I like this one a lot. A lot of contrast in this one, but you can still pick out 7 different tints and shades of that blue. Okay, so look for the videos on watercolor mixing and painting techniques and acrylic mixing for just the primaries. I'm not sure if they talk about adding black and white, but you'll see at least how to mix colors. Let me see if I can find a monochromatic one on that, and look for that. And we'll talk again on Wednesday.